talking about qualities of a great leader, quality number 6 is really powerful. This law is the law of solid ground. And this is, of course, based on John Maxwell, because his art, it's brilliant, and he made sure to include all the pieces. So the law of solid ground is solid character, living with integrity, authenticity, being disciplined. Trust is the foundation of leadership, and it is earned or it isn't, period. Character is the source of trust. If you do not work on your character, you will not have trust from your team. If you have trust, it's because you have character that allows them to look up to you and to admire something that you're doing. Maybe not everything, but we build our character by being scrupulously honest, even when it hurts. So to be authentic, we have to be ourselves with everyone. We can't pretend to be something that we aren't. Discipline comes from doing what needs to be done, whether we like it or not. So I'm going to go through 12. That was not on purpose, just happened to be 12 things. So think about this. Are you doing these things? Number one is tell the truth. Are you doing that about everything? Now, I want you to realize that part of telling the truth is telling the truth when people need your help. Some people are trying to be so kind that they don't really tell the whole truth. And I'm going to give you I'm going to teach you a way that opens the door so that you can tell the whole truth without being hurtful. Because really, a lot of times the reason we don't tell the truth to someone is we don't want to hurt their feelings. It's the worst thing you can do. You either hurt their feelings a little bit now, or you hurt their feelings a lot later. And by the way, probably damage the relationship. I want you to think for a second, who do you go to when you want the truth? Think about the person when you put on your jeans, or you guys get your hair cut or whatever, or you're going to get your hair cut. Who do you go to find out if it looks good? Somebody probably came to mind. I have a sister that when we were in, I remember we were in junior high, and we had a little bit of a rocky relationship back then. Now, no, now we're just close and love each other dearly. But at that time, we were right next in line to each other, and we'd argue a lot and fight a lot. And I remember when I put on this pair of jeans, and I wanted to look so cute. I put on this pair of jeans. I'm like, how do these look? What did I want her to say? Oh, that looks awesome. You look so cute. And she wasn't vindictive at all. So, she would tell the truth. It's not like I had to worry, oh, she's mad at me, or, she's just going to say that to be mean. That's not how it worked. She was always honest. And so when I asked her how I looked in those jeans, she goes, your butt looks fat. And I'm like, oh. And I remember being so offended that she would tell me that. So of course I went and changed my jeans, and she's like, yeah, that one looks better. Well, guess what? I got mad that day that she said that to me, and I was all offended. But guess who I went to every single time I wanted to know when I wanted an opinion about my outfit, about my clothes, about anything. I mean, like how you look is a lot more shallow, although people try to make it way too shallow, because it's okay to try to make yourself look good and care about looking nice and care about being attractive. And that's okay. It's a fun thing. And it's okay if you don't want to worry about that. But it's actually, it can be a thing that is not completely shallow. And I think it's an important thing. But because it's like having hygiene. Well, I'm not going to worry about it because it's just what other people. No, it's about being, what's the word? It's about caring about the people around you. I try to have good hygiene so that I don't stink and someone else has to smell that. Okay. I brush my teeth so that obviously it's for me to be healthy, and I do personal hygiene because I don't want to smell that smell either. But I brush my teeth first for me, but also as an act of politeness. How pleasant is it to look at someone who has gunk buildup on their teeth, and you guys right now are already going, ugh, because it's unpleasant. So we do things out of good manners and politeness, and that's okay. So, but that's not the most important thing for sure. And guess who I would go to when there were more important things that I needed an opinion about, or I needed advice about? I would go ask Sylvia, because I knew she would tell me the truth. So tell the truth. Number 2, admit when you don't know something. It doesn't have to be that you know everything. It's okay that sometimes you don't know everything. And in fact, it's validating for the people around us especially if you're really good at what you do. It's validating when someone says, you know what, I don't know, let me find out. Number three, admit when you're wrong. And admitting when you're wrong is not saying, like, if they bring something to you and you go, oh, okay. That's not admitting you're wrong. That is trying to halfway hide the fact and not have to face the fact that you were wrong. Say the word, say, oh my goodness, I was totally wrong. It doesn't have to be an awkward moment. It doesn't have to be this big drama. Oh my goodness, I was wrong and I am sorry. And I need to tell you that don't make it a big deal. We're wrong and we're right sometimes. So when you're wrong, admit it. Just admit it. Say, oh my goodness, I was totally wrong. Like with my office team, you can see I'm a very strong-headed, opinionated person, and I know what I want. But these guys are amazing. And usually this doesn't happen where, they're off doing their thing. They know their job and they go do it. But every once in a while, I'll get all strong-headed about something and I'm like, no, I really want this. And they'll say, okay, but look at this and this and this. A lot of times if they do that, I'm like, okay, go do your thing. Go do it that way then. But sometimes I'm like, no, I know that that's the way everyone else is doing it. I'm not going to do it that way. I want it like this. And so they'll do that. And sometimes I'm right, but sometimes I'm wrong. And what they said was actually better. And so when that happens, I'm like, you totally said that would be better. I should have done that. Good job you. I was totally wrong. Okay, switch it and do that. And sometimes it causes them more work. And so then I can let them know that I value that and I realize. I say, great, now you're gonna have to go redo the whole thing. I'm so sorry. Don't be afraid to say when you're wrong. Number four, if you say you'll do it, do it. If you say you'll do it, do it. And I'll tell you what, this one is a struggle for me. I have no problem with action because I'm awesome at doing a lot because it's exciting to me and there are all these things I want to do. But I have to be careful not to overpromise because I want to help everyone. And so that's enabling. I'm enabling. And so I want to help people. When I help them, I don't enable them. But guess what I'm doing? I need to have times where I say no. I'm getting better and better at that. My team is helping me get better and better at that. Okay. Number five, if you're meant to do it, do it. Like there are certain responsibilities that you take on because you have a business. So now, for example, if there's something you need to sign, if there are certain things that you need to do so that the people around you can accomplish what they're trying to do. And that's by doing your business, by being an entrepreneur, by starting this, that's one of the things you committed to, that you would do your part. Your part gets to be at whatever speed you want. You get to pick, if you want to do very, very little at a time, if you want to go 100 miles an hour, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But don't hold other people back because of things that you were meant to do and you're not doing it. So number six, explain your thought process. This is one that is hard for me because my mind's going 100 miles an hour and I have all these ideas. And I used to tend to just say the basics. I would say, okay, this is what we need to do. And this is the vision and this is what it's going to look like. Okay, go. And everybody's like, okay. And I get them all excited. They're excited. They're ready to do it. Doesn't matter if it's my team members. It doesn't matter if my office team, doesn't matter if it's my partners, whatever, the people I'm mentoring, they get all excited. But I'm thinking, I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste everybody else's time. And so I try to do it quicker. And then because I'm into step skipping strategies, but then what happens is I've learned that when I I slow down enough to share the vision, get their input, talk about it for a while, and make a plan and laugh and joke about the goofy ideas that came out on the table. And all of those things happen. By the time we're done, we love each other more and they will move mountains for me to try to create this vision that we are trying to now create together instead of I'm just doing what I'm told. It's unbelievable. So explain your thought process. Number seven, give other people trust. Trust them enough to do some things, even if sometimes their mistakes cause you problems or you have to start over or whatever. That's okay. Sometimes that's part of growing together. And that's what a leader does. Number eight, include other people and be inclusive. Make sure every person on your team gets to be part of this. I am very aware of sometimes what's happening with my team. For example, my executive assistant, I talk to all the time. My operations manager, I talk to all the time. Well, the other people in my office team, I don't talk to hardly ever. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I look at what they do for me, my social media person, people who build my funnels. It's amazing what they manage. And I could not do it without them. And sometimes I probably go way too long without making sure that they know that I care about them and that I am so grateful for what they do. So I'm really excited about when like it's Christmas is coming up because we have a sweet office party and we do awesome gifts for them because I know that I'm not great at remembering to do that. And I verbally, I say it all the time. They're amazing. They know I think they're amazing, but sometimes they're not always hearing it from me. And this is a time where I get to really spoil them. So, number 9, watch your reactions. The way you react to other people, sometimes you don't even realize that you're coming across irritated, or that they can tell you're a little bit bugged, or they can tell you're impatient because they aren't done talking. Watch your reactions. Number 10, give other people a chance to talk. You should be talking unless you are the one teaching and training, like for example what I'm doing right now. Unless you are the one in that position, if you are doing one-on-ones, there are you might start it off and do a teaching moment at the beginning, or kind of start it off with more talking, but they should be talking more than 50% of the time. They should be talking more than 50% of the time. Because if you are running your strategy sessions correctly, guess what happens? You get them going, you've trained them how to do strategy sessions, and now the whole time they're making their plan and you are just excited. It's almost like you've helped them learn how to share their vision with you and what the steps are going to do to accomplish it. And if you don't know how to do a strategy session, I have it in my other trainings, and we've done that for you as well. So work on giving other people a chance to talk. Number 11, listen. For real. For real. I want you to listen. Listening means you forget what you were about to say because what they're saying is so interesting that when they're done talking, you can't help but ask another question because they tell you something and you're saying, are you kidding? They're saying something about, well, my son, it just graduated, whatever. And so I can't do it tomorrow because it's graduation. And you're going, oh my goodness. So what, like, what's he graduating in? You can't help but ask more questions because you're so interested in what they're saying. And number 12, take responsibility for failures. You are the leader. If there's a failure, it is your fault. And if that makes you mad, maybe this is the one you need to pick, because I promise you, like everything in your whole body will be against this idea that it is your fault because the failure happened because so and so didn't do something and I did everything I was supposed to do. I promise you, there is more to it than that. Because when you take responsibility for the failure, guess what happens? It opens up a whole new world. If the failure is your fault and you did everything you were supposed to and they didn't, the other people didn't, what does that tell you about your leadership skills? It tells you that there's a way, like you need to learn how to guide better. Maybe what you did wasn't very clear. Maybe you didn't help them catch the vision. Maybe you didn't include them in the process enough. There are things that you start to discover about yourself when you take full responsibility for failures. And when you do that, you guys, I cannot say this strongly enough because this is something I learned the hard way through my process in business. And I'll tell you this, my business exploded every time I figured out the next level of taking responsibility for everything, everything, every failure. If you do that, then two things happen. Number one, you start to learn ways to be a better leader, like I just described. And number two, you automatically have control. There's nothing stopping you from being successful because now this, whether or not you're successful has nothing to do with what anyone else is doing. If it's all your fault, you're like, okay, well, that was the case. What do I do now? If you keep blaming it on someone else, guess what? You keep trying to hit your head against the wall doing the same thing with that person. Either do something different with that person, be a different leader, be a better leader, and help figure out maybe what you're trying to get them to do isn't what they really want to do. Maybe you need to figure out a better way to find out their why, whatever that looks like. Or maybe you'll get to know their real why and go, oh, I'm trying to push them into this role, but that's not the role they want to be in. They want to be doing something else. Okay, you got this. You can totally do it. Pick one of those things. If one of those 12 things is one of the 3, you're only going to have 3 by the time we're done. Do not start pushing yourself, because everything we talk about, if you're even a little bit humble, you'll be going, oh my goodness, I need to work on that. Oh, I could totally work on that. Some of them you're going to go, oh, I got that. That's easy for me. I'm already doing that. That's fine. But you're going to have a lot that you want to work on. Remember, do not get overwhelmed. Just pick 3. Only 3.